This episode of Noonish Sports and Tech is brought to you by High Energy Models and Events, Tech for Troops, T4T, baby, Verve Performance Labs,
Whiskey, me?
Bet US, where the game begins. Scan the QR code below to bet on your favorite sports games 24/7, 365. The original shot sock. Now, without my shot socks.
Not in this age.
Yeah. Hello, y'all. Hello, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us. Ooh, I think we need to turn it down a little bit, Renee.
Oh,
We
yeah.
need to turn it down just a tad.
So Renee was right all this time.
Something's going
Come on,
on.
man.
Sound a little loud on my end, though. Let me turn this
He
one
did.
down.
He did tell you that.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, welcome everybody to this 7th season, first episode of your favorite Hump Day special show, man. Noonish Sports and Tech. We got an exciting show for you today, man. Action-packed, man. Got some legends in the building, man. Can't wait to talk to one of my favorites, man. I wore number 24 my whole life, man. You know, it's a certain, when you see 24 on that field, you got a baller out there. You know what I'm saying? So a game change is what we call it. But anyway, before we get into it, let me go ahead and introduce our awesome co-host, starting out with the one and only Mr. El Grande Todo, Jonas Bull in the house.
You think
man.
people don't know who we are?
Man, they should know if they don't know by now, man. They late to the party. You know what I'm saying? That's the people that still they don't know about crypto yet. You know what I'm saying? Same kind of person, man.
Don't know about
A lot of
ChatGPT.
them.
Yeah, man. And to
I
my
heard about
left,
ChatGPT.
you're right. We do have Mr. Half Man, Half Amazing. All hands. Always on time. Mr.
Hey.
1-2 Bayou. Mr. Yak. You know what I'm saying? Mr. OU himself. It
He ain't
is Mr.
trying.
Mark Clayton in the building. What's
What's
going
up,
down,
man?
bro?
Mr. Walls ain't trying to hear all that.
Just trying to say.
By you. Ain't nobody running by me. Ain't nobody running by
I just
me.
wonder what kind of thoughts he had in his mind right there. You know what I'm saying? Because we've only seen one other cornerback, and we have had prime time come through this organization. But we've only seen one other cornerback equal the amount of interceptions
True.
in a season
In the history.
of this gentleman right
Ever.
here. There's only been 12, well,
Yeah.
not technically, but 12 other 12 people or more, I guess 12 to like 15 people that have in the history of the NFL that have more career interceptions
Right.
than this young man right here that we're
Yes.
talking to today, man.
Yes,
if y'all
sir.
don't know who I'm talking about, it's Mr. Everson Walls, man. Thank you so much for joining us today. How you doing, sir?
You are welcome. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good,
We hear you
good.
great, man. So I'm really excited to talk to you, man. You know, I've been watching you my whole life. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Mark used to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. Jonas is a Dallas Cowboy
Yep.
fan now. You know what I'm saying? And matter
So
of
wait,
fact, I was
wait,
thinking,
wait,
I was
wait,
like,
back
man,
up,
y'all actually
back
played
up.
for the same organization. Because you
Back
played
up,
for the
back
Cleveland
up.
Browns,
Uh-huh.
and he played for the Baltimore Ravens, and that's the Cleveland Browns that
That was.
transferred over to
Uh-huh.
Baltimore before they,
Yeah.
just made another team out of
Indeed.
thin air. You know?
Right.
Hold up. So he used to be a Cowboy fan.
Used to be. Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
What happened?
Well, I was a devout fan growing up. It was Cowboys and Barry Sanders. Then I got drafted with the number 22 overall pick, and I felt like I should have been a 20th overall pick.
Yeah.
That was a Cowboy pick,
Man.
and Marcus Spears was that pick. And I tell him to this day, he's lucky, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm kind of glad we're talking about this. That's good.
Yeah.
All you Negroes always believe if y'all
You
don't
should have
get
been
picked by
sooner.
the Cowboys, if y'all don't get picked by the Cowboys,
Yeah.
y'all upset your whole career, man. We can't pick everybody, bro.
Get 'em.
I know, bro.
They didn't even pick me. I picked them. I was undrafted. I chose
Oh, you
them.
had a choice. That's nice.
So hold on. So
That's
you came
big time.
in undrafted and had 11 interceptions
That's
in
amazing.
the first year.
No doubt.
That's
The
big
when I
whole
time.
front office staff should have gotten fired.
When I say I had a choice, when you're undrafted,
Yep.
that just means you know they're gonna pick you for training camp and
Yep.
use you up and get rid of you.
Yeah.
So they had no idea
Right.
and they would end up keeping me with my $1,500 signing bonus.
My God,
Man.
that's crazy. So
Yeah.
there was no was there a combine back then, back in the gap like that, or when did the NFL
yeah.
combine start?
Oh yeah. How many rounds?
They did have NFL combines. I'm not that damn old. They did have NFL combines, and yeah, they wouldn't even. I went to an HBCU, so in 1981, they are not thinking about HBCUs and spending a lot of time inviting us nor coming to visit.
Yes.
So they would spend little time there, very little time. Even Willie Brown, who was a former Gramblinite, I broke his record, and he came down to time me, but he was the only person that came, and I think that was just because he was on a personal visit.
Wow. So was it? How'd you end up? Choosing the Cowboys. I know you're from here, Richardson, Bergen, D-town, baby. You grew up here in Dallas, right? So,
that's right.
What was that process like? Just walking on. I mean, did someone introduce you to who was it? Tex Ram and
well, first of all,
Landry?
you can stop right there because Tex Ram would not deal on that lower level. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're just talking about undrafted free agents. You don't meet Tex Ram. You don't meet Tom Landry until the first day of some type of camp. Otherwise, it's no ceremony, for a guy that wasn't drafted. No ceremony at all.
So what was that process like?
Oh, I just came to camp like everyone else. I had already signed the contract, of course, in the spring. I was very disappointed, of course, in how things went during the draft. So you know how it is when a brother from a HBCU comes into the league, then I got a chip on my shoulder.
One of the master chips.
So, oh, no doubt, because I took it personally, and culturally I took it as well, because I felt that was only because I went to an HBCU that I was not considered more highly. Yes. And so, I was no dumbass. I graduated from Grambling, so I know how life works. I grew up in Hamilton Park in Dallas, so you take that stuff to heart. And so I played with that same chip my entire career. But we started off in camps. I do recall Tony Hill was coming up, and I'm a Cowboy fan. You mean like me and you from Dallas?
Yes.
Tony Hill happens to be at practice while we had a rookie camp, and of course Tony Hill was not a rookie, but he comes over to us as DBs, all rookie DBs, and he says, "Hey guys, I want to look. Just somebody give me a look. I want to warm up a little bit." And I'm still pissed. Yeah. So I jumped up to the front of the line. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, give me some, right? Yeah. And he's like, hold up, young fella, because he saw my attitude. He said, look, I'm just want to get loose. I said, yeah, whatever, man. I said,
it's practice.
Yeah, right. You number one. I said, you the best. I want to be the best. That's what I said. Yes. And boy, he came out there, man, and I shut him down that one route. He was just trying to get loose, but me, I was really feeling myself. Yeah. And so that first time I was all over it, right? He ran a little curl route. So he said, all right, young fella, because Tony Hill is not for lack of confidence or trash talk. And he lined up the second time. He's like, okay, he almost broke my ankle.
No.
Yeah.
That's one of the Tyreek Hill moves.
That was my welcome to the NFL moment right there. Yeah. And just to let you know how frequent it was for him, if I ask him about that to this day, he does not even remember that.
Yeah.
But it made a big impression on me.
So you being able to go up against Tony Hill every day, how much of an advantage was that for you and your growth as a cornerback in the NFL?
Oh, it was all I had. I mean, it was paramount.
Yeah.
Guys like Drew Pearson, I mean, Drew was still a baller. Yes. I mean, still young. Tony Hill was only 3 years in the league at that time.
So they made games easy.
Oh man, these guys, man, we battled every day, and as much as we were friends in the locker room, once we got on that field, it was personal. It really was.
Right.
Yeah. And so when you look at a guy like myself coming in undrafted, the last thing a veteran wants to do is to be challenged by a person of my low status. Mm-hmm. And that's just so that's the fight within the fight.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just I talk about trying to make plays in the NFL. You have a tough time just making the team.
Yes.
You know, it was 25 of us, so that's just rookie DBs, 25. Sometimes you didn't even make it through the drill.
Wow. So when he broke your ankles,
crazy.
Did he hit you with a look away? Then was he just what did he do to get you to jump?
He did one of those CeeDee Lamb moves. He quick footed me, man.
Yeah.
I thought he was going deep, boy. He stopped on the dime.
Yeah.
That boy kept running.
I was still facing the other way when he's looking at the ball. Yeah.
Like, man, somebody
where'd you go?
Somebody give this guy a map. Get some directions.
You know when he caught it, it wasn't over. He caught it and just kind of, you know how they showed it to him.
Yeah.
You know, he showed it to him. Yeah,
and that was a teaching moment.
That was a teaching moment.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. That's how you grow. That's how you get better. That's how you end up with 57 interceptions in 12 years. So just to, kind of put this into perspective.
Yeah.
Right. Deion Sanders played 16 seasons, and he ended up with 52, 53 interceptions in his career. You played 12 seasons, fewer games
13.
per season, and ended up with 57 interceptions in your career.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned at the opening of the show, ranking 13 in the league. I think you're tied with like 4 or 5 other guys. Unfortunately, but fortunately, your last name is Walls, but that does put you at the bottom of the, list of 13.
Oh, alphabetically. Okay, alphabetically, yeah.
Yeah. But hey, that's you were a wall on that field, man, and I know it was a big deal when you got did you get traded or did you go over to the Giants in free agency?
I got cut. I got basically unceremoniously kicked off the team.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of mess going on with the new regime when Jerry and Jimmy came in. It was a totally different feel, and really it was a needed change. Because Tom Landry and Tex Schramm and Gil Brandt, they were the old guards, and it was time for them to go. Yes. And when Jimmy and Jerry came in, the change happened extremely quickly, and really it was just a microcosm of how the NFL was changing as well.
Yeah.
But I knew that I wasn't done.
Yeah.
And so once they got rid of me, Jimmy on a personal level got rid of me. We're still having battles, by the way. Jimmy and I are still having personal battles.
Yeah.
Through the media as well. That's correct.
Really?
And,
wow. Is it as big as Charles Barkley and Skip Bayless's?
Oh no.
or Shannon Sharp and Skip?
We're not on that level, but
shitting on Skip.
If I ever get a chance, on that level to make some statements, yeah, Jimmy will be included in my statement.
Hey, it's a lot of celebrities that have crossed over into boxing in this
new
exhibition match. Would you be up for an exhibition match against Jimmy Johnson?
Right.
And I'd say
let's get in the ring.
How big are you, Everson? You're a tall cornerback.
Man.
Yeah. I'm 6. I just turned 63. I'm 6'2".
Oh, yeah, that's big corner.
As you get older, I'm down to 6'1" now. But I was
yes. But
that's big corner.
I mean, yeah, but you were before your time because that's a big corner
today.
That's what they want. That lean, tall corner,
long arms,
good speed. They can play zone. Man, that's Richard Sherman. There's certain defenses that couldn't play in.
You're talking Richard Sherman, who was 6. I thought he was about 6'4".
Close
3.
To 4.
Okay. And then you have Nashawn Wright with the Cowboys. Good looking kid.
Yeah.
I think he's all of 6'4".
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got the African who has my number. I can't pronounce his name. But I think he's a cornerback in college, and he's all of 6'4".
Yep.
So I enjoy watching guys with that frame and that fluidity be able to make plays like that, because not only when you're this tall as a corner, and that's what some of these tall corners are learning, your footwork has to be impeccable.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from the footwork. I wasn't fast, but the footwork was there.
Yeah.
If you can go from the brain to the feet quickly, that is something that is invaluable in the NFL. So that footwork gets you in position. After that, it's all about the fight.
Yeah, and talking about cornerbacks and bringing up Dion, he just recently got a job in Colorado, right? How do you feel about that, and what the job that he did in the HBCUs, man, out of Jackson State? He did a lot of great things for the conference and just for HBCUs. Period. We see Ed Reed is now at Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
We got my guy down in Gremlin.
Eddie George. Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson.
And then Eddie George is in there.
Eddie Robinson as well. Eddie Robinson at Alabama State, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So, how do you feel about Dion and the job he did at Jackson State, and then him just taking off to Colorado the way he did?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed all the publicity that HBCUs got. Briefly, I think it was welcomed, of course, but I think it became more myopic, I guess is the word, because it whittled down to just Jackson State and Dion. And that's not on Jackson State or Dion. That's not on them. That's just kind of how things organically went. So it remains to be seen how much more publicity and how much more the media targets the HBCUs. I hope it continues along the same magnitude, but I don't think it will. But we are still better off for it in regards to he being accompanied by Eddie Robinson Jr. At Alabama State, just the ones you talked about. Jake Reed, welcome change to HBCUs in regards to Bethune-Cookman. Just enjoy the fact that these young men are going to get some really invaluable experience dealing with these extremely accomplished players. All of these guys, I mean, they have name recognition, and what comes along with that is knowledge. And so if they could just soak that in, that'd be amazing for all these young brothers that are not just trying to make it in the NFL. I mean, we're just talking about lessons that will allow you to go further in life, period.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's, I think it was refreshing for, first of all, the state of Mississippi, which is just going through all kinds of stuff. Jonas is from there, Jonas ain't had a good glass of water. I'm just playing.
A long time.
Had to go get some Dasani.
Still thirsty.
Yeah. No, but they really had some things that I don't know if any other coach could have, helped that program, get through the way that Dion did so charismatically, so smoothly. You know what I'm saying? And I think he did a great job. I think it's cool to see him go from the HBCU level to, Colorado. That's a Power 5 program,
spot.
right?
Oh yeah.
It's a program that is clearly in the dumps right now. They call it a crap fire. The media themselves, they know all about it. They pretty much call it just a bad situation. A lot of experts, when I say criticize the move, they didn't think that he should have taken that one. They should think that it's worth. Deion Sanders should be used more than at University of Colorado. I think that's the narrative because of the quality individual that he is and as a coach. Colorado is blessed to have him. Okay, and I'm hoping that it's not too much for him. Deion's been through a lot, and he's done it well. We can't expect him to raise everyone's level. That's a lot of pressure. But that's what he signed up for, and I hope he's successful at it.
If anybody welcomes a challenge.
Yeah, if for Colorado, this is going to be a tough charge for him. Yeah,
absolutely,
big time.
If anybody can do it, I think that he's the man for the job. But so what you up to now, Everson? You know what I'm saying? NFL, what's going on with you, man? By the way, Z Star told me to tell you hello.
Oh, that's my girl. Yes.
Project.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
That's my girl. Yes. No, very, very wonderful young lady. Come from good stock, by the way.
That former Dallas Cowboy.
Man, I was crazy about her dad, boy. I mean, when you end up in HBCU like myself, you have a certain voice that has to be heard. And I like how her dad kind of showed the way for me to sometimes, not to shake things up for the sake of shaking them up, but to have an idea of how a football player should be treated and the respect that he deserves just as a human being.
Yes.
And a lot of times we, including myself, especially since I retired, we belittle, our position in the community and the ability that it takes to do, like we just got through talking about what Dion has done, to do things like Dwayne Thomas did. And a lot of them don't just remember how bold that man was in the face of one of the most staunch, rigid organizations that sports had ever seen in the Dallas Cowboys. So the courage he took for that, I've always just admired him. And when I see videos of him, I stop and look because he was one of the more interesting, intelligent men that I've ever really talked to or even had the pleasure to know.
Man, yeah, that's crazy, man. And I got a question for you about your playing career. So who was your arch nemesis? Who was the one receiver that you went up against every time you knew it was going to be a battle for 4 quarters, but y'all just welcomed the challenge?
Yeah, if you guys had been listening, I've always said it. The first person's name that comes out of my mouth is Roy Green. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that I had to see him twice a year with the Cardinals, whether it was St. Louis or at that time Phoenix. It wasn't even Arizona yet. It was the Phoenix Cardinals by the time I retired. He was Steve Smith Sr. He was like, Steve Smith 1.0 or whatever you want to call it.
Played angry.
He played, and he was strong. He was just so strong. I think Senior brought the anger, but Roy Green was the beginning. So he was just almost dismissive of your presence. That's kind of tough to be when you're a defensive back. I was balling by the time he came around. I was balling against everyone else, but when it came to him, I had to realize that there are limitations.
Yeah.
What you can do.
That's a big statement.
That is a big statement. I'm glad you recognize that, sir.
Yeah.
Because he made you realize, look, man, I can't do it all with this guy.
Yeah.
Wow. I had to play him smart. I had to play him conservative. There were certain times I had to concede, not just deep passes. No, I'm not talking about that. I had to give up the short passes and play that head game with him.
Couldn't cover everything.
I've known this about offensive coordinators and wide receivers and QBs.
Yeah.
They're extremely egotistical.
Of course.
They can't help themselves. They think every play is supposed to work.
Wide receivers? Egos?
Why wouldn't it? Why shouldn't it?
Because everything works. Everything's supposed to work because they drew it up.
Yeah.
And if you get a one,
y'all are just reacting.
The mismatch. That's right. We're just reacting. And
so it's a little more than that.
He's right. They think we're going to be a beat behind them. That's all they need is that one.
We don't think y'all going to anticipate.
Nope.
At all.
When we do, we own y'all, and that's
exactly that's true.
And so I had to just give up certain things: 10 yards, 12 yards, sometimes even 15 yards.
Yeah.
If it had to be strategic on how I guarded this guy.
Wow.
And sure enough, like most wide receivers and offensive-minded players, eventually they're going to come into the trap.
Yeah.
And that's how I had to play him. I had to bait them into running deep passes because I couldn't cover both with him. I just couldn't.
Yeah. Man, bro, it seems like you covered quite a bit. 57 picks.
Yeah, that was on others but him.
Yeah. And that's crazy because you don't really hear his name come up too often.
Right.
In conversation about great receivers.
Yeah. He was very injury prone. And let's be real, guys. There are certain careers that are romanticized, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Especially as we get older.
Yeah.
We have a lot to do with that. But Roy Green was a guy that battled many injuries. He never had a good team to play on in the Cardinals. The ownership was trash, and to me, still trash.
Yeah.
You know, at that time they were bad. They were the cheapest organization in the NFL. I mean, basic needs like clean, clean
towels in the shower.
At that time, jockstraps, socks, and things of that nature. They, the basics.
You can't just go past clean jockstraps, bro. Like, that's
Wait, they had to spend money on their own jockstrap?
If the fact that I'm having to explain jockstraps, how long ago that was, but just the basics and of course renegotiations and the pay from that team was the lowest and most hard fought in the NFL. That can take away your spirit. Yeah. And if Roy Green was with any other organization, he would have been lauded as one of the best to ever play the game. And that's a testament to him. It's also a statement on some of the situations that we had to go through back in the 70s and 80s as union reps and NFLPA as NFL Player Association goes.
Wow.
Man, I'm definitely gonna go on YouTube, Roy Green.
Yeah, me too.
See if that,
please do.
Smith Senior. I looked up to him.
You'll see 24 being embarrassed.
Oh no.
A few times.
You probably made sure to put you on there if it was that big of a war.
A few times.
That's what's up.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, man,
that was great.
Crazy career, man. Legendary cornerback right here, man.
Cheers to the career.
We're going to jump into some of these good topics now, man. I don't know if you're familiar with the show, but we are Noonish Sports and Tech, and we're going to fire off on these Cowboys.
I am not familiar with this show at all. I was going to have you brothers break it down to me because I don't know how you got my number. I don't know how you got my number.
Hey, we just going to toss you in the fire. Remember, we actually met at a boxing match here in Dallas, over at Gillies, and had it through my boy Renee Rodriguez, the greatest producer in the land,
Yes.
And but no, man, it's I'm excited to have you on the show today. We're gonna have a good time, especially talking about these Cowboys and these playoffs. So I'm gonna go on and move on over. I'm changing screens on this end. I don't know if you can see on your end, but that whole situation that took place last week, last Monday night. One of the scariest injuries I've ever seen. It's not the first time that's ever happened. Matter of fact, Keyshawn Johnson had a situation like that back in 1998. One of his, the teammate, not his teammate, but the player that he was playing against, the exact same thing happened. They had to resuscitate him on the field.
Wow.
I mean, but that's a different day and age prior to social media and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But regardless, man, that was, all of my life, I didn't recall that until Keyshawn brought it up, but all of my life, I've never seen, and as a matter of fact, they didn't end the game back then. They went right back to playing.
Yeah, right.
That's the point I was going to make. Yeah.
Yeah. They went right back to playing.
They finished in any game that was similar to that.
Wow.
The game was finished.
Crazy.
The game was finished. And that is, as you brought up, a testament to where we are right now.
Yeah.
And let's all say a prayer for that.
Yes.
Because I just spoke of the 70s and 80s. Owners were ruthless and heartless. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
And let's not give these guys a break. I mean, if they could do it, they would. The owners that we're talking about today. Yeah. And Jerry loves his players. And he's like any other owner. They love their money more. As much as this is their product, you still see, even with what happened to DeMar, and thank God for him being released, I believe, from the hospital today. And I think he was able to go home.
Yeah, man.
So you look at something like that, and you say, well, man, thank God it's not, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Because things could have turned out much different, as we could have seen.
Right.
But the only difference that is out there is the players have a louder voice. You understand? They were talking about, they're talking to the coaches right now to see if they want to go out and play again. First of all, both coaches are extremely empathetic. They were not going to make that decision. But let's be real. The players were not going to let them make that decision.
Yeah.
Okay? The players' voices are extremely strong right now.
And that's, that's huge.
Oh, no doubt.
especially in NFL.
I joke with people all the time, and I say, you're welcome. Because we lost a lot of money during the 80s and the 90s with the strikes that we went on, money that
Right.
will never recover. During the strike, I know I've lost about, and that, it's no big deal nowadays, but compared to what we were making, I lost over $100,000 in 2 strikes.
That's a huge deal back then, bro.
Back in the 80s, that was extremely huge. Money
Yep.
will never recover. So I'm glad that what they're doing now, the strength that the players have now, I'm glad I can say that we, all the union and the guys in the 80s, contributed directly to the fact that they have that kind of power right now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's good. And I know y'all seen the video of the brother that was outraged, right? That went viral.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When he spoke truth about where we are in the NFL, still to this day.
Insurance.
Yeah.
Yep. Concussion.
We had to negotiate, and we got less coverage now.
Wow.
I mean, things that he brought up. Retired players, such as myself. Thank God I was not a lineman or a safety or
middle linebacker, fullback.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Them headbangers.
I tried my best to avoid contact in 13 years and couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I tried my best. To this day, I sleep like crap, and I could just imagine how some other guys feel. Just my pain can't compare to how these guys are suffering, and yet they still don't have the proper long-term care that they need. Okay, we're talking about Rayfield Wright, who just died. We're talking about Roger Staubach, who walk around here in bad shape right now. Okay, but he's one of those guys not going to complain. Charlie Waters, that was a safety that was with me when I played. My rookie year, he was ending his career. One of my heroes, because I was also a Cowboy fan. This guy walks, I mean, just seeing him, he's struggling. And so there's this isolated concern and empathy for DeMar, right? Man, DeMar, thank God for DeMar. But there were so many others. They weren't the dramatic on-camera disasters that you saw with DeMar.
Right.
It was it's a steady demise until you die, okay? A steady demise has been happening in sports, and it's still happening to this day. So, love me some DeMar and everything that they're doing for his toy drive. But DeMar is not vested. DeMar is not vested. He won't be, even if he plays next year, he still won't be vested.
Right.
Okay? So let's just think about that. They're going to take care of DeMar, but what about everyone else?
Well, I mean, you look at how pissed off the owners are behind Deshaun Watson's fully guaranteed contract. Like, that says enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Browns did something bad by this young man.
They're making billions. They wouldn't pay Deshaun unless they could afford it. Nobody's that stupid. No owner is like, oh man, the guy robbed me, man. Now I got to cut down on. No, they don't. They don't have to do any of that.
Right.
So all players' contracts should be guaranteed. When you know that the moment you take a hit, and you got, I'm preaching to the choir. The moment you take a hit, pretty much your life will not be the same physically ever again.
Again, which is insane to think about, man.
It is.
But you guys are gladiators, bro. That's why y'all are the gladiators of modern day, man. Right. And even though we say that, it still don't mean that y'all deserve to not get the proper, care and treatment, bro.
And now they're using his condition, which to motivate people to play more football.
It's like, what? Like, how's that even add up?
Just think of the irony of that, go, and he's like, go get him. Of course, he wants his boys to play well, and so everyone's using this, but I just don't want it to mask, the true nature of what's going on with the NFL. They're going to extend. We were doing a podcast today with the Cowboys. When you asked what I was doing, I'm part of a team or a podcast team that's with the Cowboys on their network called Mix Shots. And it's Mickey Spagnola myself, and you guys know Bill Jones with CBS.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were just talking about how you've got all of these players who are going out there. They're going to continue to play the game, but at the same time, they've got this in the back of their mind.
Yeah.
You know they have this in the back of their mind. So, to me, that's just the irony of it.
Yeah.
Man,
well, I just want to say thank you for being a part of paving the way, because my experience as an athlete in the NFL and in retirement, I know is a direct reflection of the sacrifices that you guys made to give players a voice. And so I want to say thank you for that and appreciate it.
I appreciate that. And let me say this. I got off into this union stuff because of my mom. I was second year in the league. She made me go to the NFL PA convention. True. God rest her soul. She made me go. And I went there and it opened my eyes. Yeah. And I saw, at that time, Robert Newhouse. Yeah. And I heard Franco Harris talk about how he could never go on strike because the Roonies have been so good to him. That's the words he used. The Roonies have been so good to me. Yeah. Now that Rooney organization, they stepped up more than any other organization.
Yeah, I've heard this is
the Rooney
exceptional
Rule.
Organization.
The Rooney Rule, that's correct. The Rooney Rule, got Mike Thomas there, and they're definitely the exception. But Franco still ended up playing with the Seattle Seahawks before he retired. Yeah. So he and that's because they couldn't come to any negotiation agreement. So they still shipped him off.
Yeah.
Same team that he gave praise to.
And loyalty.
That business.
They still shipped him off. That is a lesson I learned at an extremely young age. So Robert Newhouse, he thought he was shifting the responsibility. He thought he was shifting the responsibility. Onto me. I wanted that responsibility as a union rep. I wanted it.
That's awesome,
I went to Albuquerque and I heard what Franco said. And I saw Gene Upshaw and his anger and my outrage. To hear someone say that, knowing the situation around the entire league, that really, it just spurred me to I turned into Dwayne Thomas.
Yeah.
I turned into Dwayne Thomas. That's the moment.
Man, I admire the fact that you came into the league as a walk-on and came out in such a powerful position, even as a union leader, not just on your team, but someone that affected the entire league and the entire NFL, even to this day. Things that you've done and did have, you created change. You were a change maker, bro. So that, a disruptor. Is what I like to.
It's still going.
Think about it.
I did enjoy that aspect of it. Being able to multitask was tough, and I have to say the downside of that was, it kind of it's hard to contain that to just management, and so when I was a union rep, I demanded a lot, and it was good in some ways, but you lost a lot of not respect, but you lost a lot of support from the team. Yeah. Because all of them don't think like you. And I kept, because I was so adamant, I just knew I was right, and I was righter than anybody else. Yeah. So, it kind of led into a lot of altercations that I should have been able to avoid as a bigger man. Yeah. And I've been going around making some apologies,
And that D-Town came out, baby.
Well,
my mom came out in me.
Yeah.
But no, I learned a lot. I did. I'm glad I learned it. I'm glad my teammates didn't. As I apologized to them, they were like, you know what, that's unnecessary, because they had also matured as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man.
You see a lot in other industries that are early union or not union. Seeing some of this with like the Amazon workers.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of the workers and certainly a lot of people that are looking in from the outside don't realize that if you're the union rep, if you're the one that's trying to get these reforms made, you have to ask, you have to demand
Yeah.
not just the minimum, but more than the minimum to get
so
to the minimum.
Negotiation 101. Huh?
Yeah. and
with the especially the '80s Cowboys, and you talk about starting one place because you think you're going to meet in the middle. I like that philosophy. But Gil Brandt didn't give a damn about that.
It wasn't no middle.
And,
you start at a certain place. He starts down low. Then you say, okay, let's meet in the middle. He's still low.
He's like, you want to play or not?
Right.
Exactly. And when you have, at that time, no free agency, at the best, Plan B free agency was just introduced in 1990. I retired in '93, so you didn't benefit me at all. And it was a useless free agency. Even so, it was Plan B was it was a joke as well. So when you see the way they have it now, I would much rather have it to where the players have the freedom, as opposed to you being locked into a team that is clearly not going to treat you fairly.
Transfer portal, like college.
Transfer portal, that's right.
Yes. Yes.
More power to them. More power to them.
Yep. Option-based contracts. They're not.
Yeah.
Those are option-based contracts.
It makes it
every year I will rehash it.
Well, I know you work with the Cowboys, but unfortunately, Dak has a no-trade clause.
I'm gonna leave my quarterback alone, boy.
So we gotta move on to the sports, man.
We gotta get there.
I don't wanna minimize what we just discussed because that's an ongoing conversation that we don't have enough time for today.
For the history of football.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna change.
And it's gonna continue to move forward, and
and they're going up to 18 games now, so don't forget.
And add more games. Like
they're going to add more games. Players are going to be more tired.
Yeah,
they're tired now. I'm over there at the media guys over there. They look in the locker room. I don't go in the locker room, but the media guys over there, they're in the locker room. They say guys are tired.
Yeah, I mean expand the rosters to 60.
Game is a lot.
If you expand the rosters to 60 players, you think that'll help?
I think they better. How can I put it? The stars are still the stars. The starters are still the starters.
Yeah.
And it'd be still tough. And maybe I'm just thinking old school. It's tough for a starter to say, "Okay, I'm not playing today."
Yes.
It's not basketball. It's not basketball or baseball. A football player. We always seem as if, man, if we're lining it up, I'm playing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's prevalent now. But a guy like Michael Parsons, pretty sure every time I pick him up, he's like, "Hey,
we talking about a unicorn though. That's a rare character right there, bro. That's 6'3".
Wouldn't Tay Diggs?
Trayvon
Diggs say the same thing? Wouldn't Dak?
Of course.
Say the same?
Tay Diggs got broke up.
I'm the vast majority, apart from somebody probably on their last leg, is going to be I'm in.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm in. That's the CeeDee Lamb.
Hell no. CeeDee Lamb ain't coming off the damn field. No.
Well, somebody needed to come off the field in these past few games in them Cowboys because that L we took Sunday. All right, and I'm gonna bring it back to what's going on right now. And I know I don't want Jerry mad at you, Everson, but I'm gonna be real with you right now. You know what I'm saying? And I know you say leave my quarterback alone. I've been talking about Dak for the past 3-4 years. And
you've been talking Dak smack.
And
Dak smack.
Don't get me wrong. Okay. I want to see Dak succeed. That's my quarterback. Right? I enjoy watching him.
That's why you're so passionate.
When was the last time Mississippi State was number one in the college polls? When Dak was a quarterback, right? And I can't recall a time before that when they were that, right? So my frustration is with the Dallas Cowboys, right? They brought him in as a rookie. He did his job as a backup. He won his job. Kellen Moore got injured. Tony Romo got injured. Dak Prescott came in and did what he was supposed to do as a backup in one game.
He excelled.
He did more than that.
More than,
He
excelled.
Exactly.
He outplayed the contract.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And our coaching staff got overzealous, right? They saw these wins. They started listening to first of all, anybody commenting on the Cowboys, I don't trust them. I don't think they're Cowboys fans. So they're going to say what they got to do to our demise. You know what I'm saying? So they were saying Dak is this, Dak is that. Now it's a quarterback controversy. In my mind, Tony Romo was at his peak when he was starting to get injured that way. And I always talk about this because the injury that he sustained his final year of football was the same one that Derek Carr had, and he came back and played for the Raiders for the remainder of the season. Right. But the Cowboys, my last memory of Romo is him against Philly, coming up to the line, looking at the T-wheel, going like this, and throwing a corner route, boom, for a touchdown. You know, he was on that level where he's recognizing what the defense is doing. He was on that Brady Rodgers level where I feel we missed out on 2 or 3 Super Bowls by not giving him his job back, right? I also feel that the Cowboys, in that whole situation, they prevented Dak from growing. Dak could have learned.
Shortchanged his growth.
Yeah, he was in an Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre position where he could have sat the bench for 2 or 3 years and learned small things from Romo, right? How to read a coverage, how to get to the line and understand what this defense is trying to do pre-snap. So now you can make the proper decisions. Learn how to throw that back shoulder fade. Like, I felt like the Cowboys stunted his growth. So it's not the fact that I'm against Dak. I love Dak. But now it's just the proof in the pudding of what you guys did 4 years ago by not giving Romo his job and stunting his growth. So now I can't turn back and be like, you know, Dak is my quarterback. I'm for him, but I'm just pissed off at the way that the Cowboys did it. Now we're seeing the result. 15 interceptions in 8 games? Like, that's not what you want. And that he's a far better player. His ability. Mike Barber, I played with he was my coach, and he always used to say potential is some foreign word that we don't understand. That's like speaking Italian. Potential is nothing. It's execution that matters. You know what I'm saying? So Dak has great potential. He's not Lamar running the ball. He's not Tom Brady throwing the ball. But he's somewhere in between that could be very effective if used properly. If he came up and had, you know, all the intangibles, but from a football perspective, not off the field, but on the field. You know? Right. So that's where my frustration comes in. It's not with Dak. It's with the Cowboys and their misuse of his ability and his maturity in the league.
I'm glad you finally explained all that.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't know that?
That's good. That was good.
I'm glad he did too, but I totally disagree with damn near everything he said.
Really?
Right.
So why do you say that?
Yeah.
I want to hear your point.
Because I was a Tony Romo fan as well.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, let's not glorify Tony Romo, bro.
Oh, he made some mistakes.
Some mistakes.
A lot.
Come on.
But look at the roster around Dak and look at Tony Romo's roster. It is night and day.
I remember Tony Romo throwing 4 interceptions in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on. Let's not. First of all, I was a Romo fan too. Boy, that Green Bay game, boy. Ooh, you couldn't tell me.
That was a catch.
I know.
They come back and said that was a catch.
Let's not get into that because
Wait,
I
so
hurt my knuckles on my homeboy ceiling fan. I jumped man, that was something else. They were extremely exciting. Dez and that whole team. The running back, McMurray, was that how he said his name?
Yep. DeMarco Murray, OU.
Such a good squad. But
it was.
Romo would screw up a game just as quickly and sometimes quicker and worse than Dak has ever done. Even this year's screw-ups can't compare to Tony Romo's screw-ups in certain years. And let's just be real about that now.
Well, Romo had to make plays with the lack of roster he had around him.
Well,
he had Marco. He had DeMarco. He had T.O. But outside of that, he had Jason Witten. But outside of that, like, what did he have?
He had Brian Dez. He had Dez. He had Patrick Clayton. He had a good squad.
Great.
He had a running back. He had an offensive line. Look, he had an offensive line. Let me say this. Now,
I still want Clayton to come on the show, but I can't talk about that drop against the old Giants.
I know. See, but that's all you remember. See,
No, I remember it was good.
That's all you remember. That's all. And see, that's what you. That's what happens with nothing.
Yeah, images.
We just
certain
have fun.
player images. Yeah.
But that's what happens with social media.
Mm.
We remember one play, and I'm a victim of that as well. And all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, that's his whole career."
Right.
Defined by that. But then, as you look deeper, there's always something deeper that will not go with that narrative.
Mm.
And so I can say this: when Romo left, Romo was getting overweight. You could see it in his uniform.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not think he was at the top of his game. And I thought when Dak came in, with he and Zeke, I thought that was one of the most exciting years the Cowboys have had with those two coming in and taking us to the playoffs.
Yep.
There were games when, if you look at Dak's career, if this or that would have happened that had nothing to do with Dak, we're talking about him in an entirely different light.
What about now, though?
If we stop Aaron Rodgers, in the playoffs, we're talking about an entirely different narrative.
On that pass to the tight end on that third and long.
Talk to me, man.
Nasty.
Nasty.
So
I mean, you're gonna tell me that defense? I was there. You're gonna tell me that defense couldn't anticipate him rolling outside the pocket? I mean, come on.
He went left.
That good defenses do that prevent some of the greatest plays that never happen.
Why were we in coverage and not blitzing? Why were we in zone?
A defense can stop the greatest plays that never happen.
Yeah.
You just do your job, and you don't have a conversation about how great that play was.
Yeah.
You see? So great plays are made because they are allowed to be made by someone that made a mistake.
Mistakes, man.
So
I'm a baseball guy, and we take advantage of mistakes.
You look at even his first game, not this year, but last year. I'm just picking games out of nowhere.
Yep.
Because you just want to go regular stats now. His stats are up there, but I'm picking games here. Stats, you can't compare with the stats.
No, because he always.
This year's an aberration as far as all freaking interceptions. No one's talking about what did he have after he broke his leg? What did he have last year? 30-something and 7 interceptions?
Yeah, against soft coverage. From playing from behind.
Now you're picking coverages.
But I'm saying he's playing from behind, so the defense backs off.
I could go through any other quarterback and pick it. I could do the same thing. Tom Brady is playing in the worst division,
8 and 9
in football. But yet we're gonna if he blows his nose, we're gonna talk about how great he did it.
Yeah,
okay?
It's the best
news,
boy.
Because we're letting the tail wag the dog here, and I don't want you to do that. What you see is so many. I don't like explaining away things because to me everything all balances out. All right, you can say some of this wasn't his fault, some of this was. Everything balances out. I don't care. I would take that over, except for 5 quarterbacks, maybe.
Ooh, come on now.
You take Dak over except 5 quarterbacks?
Except for maybe 5 in front of him.
So you would say Dak is a better quarterback overall than Tony Romo?
Oh yes, I would.
Oh, okay. I mean, we just agree to disagree. It's okay. I can't argue your opinion.
That's right. I would.
I went through it. It's 24 quarterbacks.
I don't know how you want to look at it. Number, wins, how you want to look at it. I don't know how you want to look at it.
Just I look at it just I test.
Okay.
Which is relative.
Okay, Shady McCoy. Okay, Shady.
Yeah, and
I'm like, who would I rather play with?
Like I said, it's about. I went through the starting quarterbacks in the league. I went through like 24 of them and a couple backups
before you got to Dak.
And and I'm just based off of things that I watch and I see.
Yeah. And
I'm not. Again, I feel like he could have been a much greater quarterback had the Cowboys treated him right, and done the right things back when we could have won some Super Bowls. But
so Jay's tougher. I'm always like Dak has. I appreciate the progression that Dak has made. To me, looking at his ball placement. Now he gets off, and when it comes down to finishing the game, I think he's done well. I think he's been put in positions where they've depended on the defense That has nothing to do with him, and have lost games. But overall, his development, although he got pushed in early via injury, I think his development and his check are accurate. I think he's developed well. I think he's a I would say average, just above average to just above average quarterback in the NFL. And that contract was based on the market and where he was at, and I'm totally
It's a
fine.
great contract now.
I might get all you can get. Absolutely, yeah.
The contract came from, like you said, the market was set by
Yep,
Kirk.
get all you can get.
Yeah.
Absolutely, maximize it, baby.
Got his money. then Dak can get
1,000%.
But I'm just saying, you guys look at numbers. I don't care how you look at it.
You're right.
They
It's
stack
better
up.
than Romo.
Man, I can't look at his numbers.
Not just better than Romo, better than a lot of the quarterbacks in this league right now.
Yeah, you said it's at 5. You said it's at about 5.
I said I would take him over everyone but the top 5.
Y'all must be friends.
Who's your top
y'all
5?
Must be friends. You holding it down for your
Top
homeboy
five.
right now.
Who's your top 5?
Mahomes, Josh Allen. I like Burrows, Rodgers. I wouldn't even put him over Tom Brady over him right now. I wouldn't
Right
do it.
now? Fair.
Not right now. No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Lamar Jackson.
I do like Lamar, but Lamar ain't playing right now.
True. Good point.
Well, the best ability is availability.
That's a fact.
Even with Lamar's wins and numbers.
Yeah, Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, what you want to do with Kyler? Come on.
Hey man, what's my guy in New York? White.
Talk to me about Kyler. What you
I mean,
do
he's
with Kyler?
injury prone. He's little. He's injury prone, but he's very dynamic.
Give me the eye test. Who said eye? Give me that eye
I test. Right.
I
But
test
I'm just saying.
I test that. And I love me some Kyler too. Now.
They're similar.
What about Justin Fields
I would take Justin Herbert before him.
and Justin?
I wouldn't take Justin Fields at all. No,
I've
Justin Fields
seen
at the bottom of it.
Herbert have just as many flaws as many as that.
Hey, I'm saying. I said Justin.
I have seen Justin Herbert get control the entire game. They're only scoring 17, 20 points a game.
Justin Fields is right here though.
You've seen it as well. But no
Yeah.
one used that the same.
Yeah, right on, man. Well, you're a Dak fan, so I can't. You know, I'm not trying to change your opinion today.
You got a
Dak,
valid. That's valid.
but
It is
you
valid.
got some good points. But
That's why
his
I'm a
stats.
fan of it because it is valid.
I think his
Right.
stats are over.
That's right.
I think his stats are over
Inflated. Is there a little
he's always
inflation there?
playing from behind and soft coverage, and now you can complete
Soft
these
coverage.
small
I don't
passes.
know where it comes from. Soft
you
coverage.
know.
Where's that
Yeah.
come
Hey, I'm just. You know
So
how
are
you
they-
beat Dak?
Are they winning?
Wait,
Sat-
it's soft coverage. Wait a minute.
You
How
know
do you
how to
prove
beat that?
soft coverage?
Well, late in the game when other teams up
You
by
gotta
10,
show
that's
me
why
a
he got the
stat
most
on soft
comebacks in
coverage.
team history.
Show me a
So-
stat on soft coverage. We go.
Hey, you know how you beat Dak?
I can't even have a conversation on soft coverage. I can't even go there.
Hey, well, all right, this how you beat
Soft-
Dak. This how you beat
Soft
Dak.
coverage.
All
I
right?
don't even know what that means, bro.
Tampa 2, 8 in the box. That's how you beat Dak.
Okay.
That's how you beat
What?
Dak. You stop the run and cover
You can
cover
beat-
2.
Tampa
You take
two?
away away those
bunch of
flats.
That don't
quarterbacks
work.
like that. You
Oh,
can
You just
oh,
mixed.
Dak?
You said Tampa 2 with 8 in the box. That's not it.
beat a
Oh,
whole
I mean, with the formations they run, you gotta have 8 in the box.
Yeah, but you can't run
You're
Tampa
gonna
2 with
have
8 in the box.
and cover 2. You
I'm
can
just-
run the ball.
Right.
Well, they don't do it. But I'm saying 8 in the box, but they can't run. What I'm saying is you take away the run and make him beat you with his arm. That's how you beat
They
that.
don't do it. That's what I'm saying.
Cover the flats, take away the run,
So
and you got
ask
that.
them, are they winning this weekend?
Huh?
Are they winning this weekend?
You think so?
Ask them. No,
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get
It's
to that.
coming.
I gotta get going.
I'm
All right,
ready.
cool.
We
All right,
can
cool.
do this segment
Yeah,
right now.
we're gonna run through this thing. So, you can't see it, but it says accuracy leads to a loss again. Accuracy is an inaccurate quarterback. That's a new word. We're gonna keep moving. Ravens fall to the Bengals.
Roll right
Yep.
through it.
Yeah, so they got a new quarterback
Go ahead.
right now.
Go ahead.
We don't know.
Josh. Yeah. I mean, that was a game
Just a
before we
game.
got into the playoffs. We're in the playoffs, and now we're focused on the playoffs.
All right, so we just
We
gonna
We
keep
hope
on.
Lamar
What
is
we talking-
in and balling, and hope it's a good game.
So I want to ask y'all, what would y'all do with the number 1 pick if y'all were Chicago Bears? Would you trade Justin Fields right now and get several picks for Justin Fields, or build your
Man,
team around Justin Fields?
that's tough. I look at Justin Fields like I look at Jalen Hurts, who I would take before Dak. But Jalen Hurts is the production of been in the right organization that handle him properly, and they absolutely maximize his abilities.
Yeah.
But he's improved as a passer from day one.
Yeah.
It's visible. And, he went, I was like, no way he's going to last. He can't throw the ball like that. But they've handled him like flawlessly, I would say. Obviously, he's an MVP running now. But I don't see Chicago doing the same thing with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give it another offseason, but I don't. I've seen the progression from year 1 to year 2 with Jalen. I have not seen that with Justin.
I hope we trade for Justin Fields. Anyways,
I didn't even hear that.
What? Yeah, good. I did. This boy just what?
No, one thing about Justin Fields is if I was Chicago, then you just do the team building.
You have to.
Like Nate Newton was talking about. Build the team around this young man. This guy, I saw that he can pass the ball. I saw that Ohio State guy. He's running the ball now all the damn time.
Yep.
Because he has no offensive line.
Yep.
And the man is huge, bro.
You talked about comparing him to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts now has, 2 Heisman Trophy winners. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. I mean, 2 Heisman Trophy. His offensive line has 3
amazing.
3 All-Pros.
Yep.
3 All-Pros on his offensive line.
Organization.
That's team building, guys. Let's be accurate here, okay? Yeah. We're not talking about soft coverage. There's no, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're making stuff here. This is just fact. The man they have put a team around him, and I'm so glad one of you guys said how you always believed in him. I did too. And I worked with a couple of guys. That used to make all these snide remarks about Jalen Hurts. And they used to offend me. They said the game was too fast for him.
Oh.
I never believed that to be so.
Yeah.
I knew because I was an OU fan.
Yeah.
I saw how a young man went from being totally a running quarterback at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
He was beaten out by Tua.
Yeah.
He went to OU, changed his entire game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And became a Heisman Trophy candidate. You just don't do that.
Yep.
You just don't make that. You don't adapt the way he adapted his entire thought process as a player and as a quarterback. It took a little while once he got into the league, but I knew that ability to continue to develop was going to be there, just like you were talking about.
Yep.
I knew he was going to do it. I'm extremely proud of Jalen Hurts. I really am.
Oh, yep.
But I
Young money.
still
But
take him over Dak, and you can kiss my butt on that.
But if Jalen goes to another organization that doesn't build a team around him like they did, and when they had pieces that were already in place that were like great defense, and then the offensive line, and then they brought in obviously the Heisman winner, and then they brought in AJ, who's a dog. If he's not in that organization, he's not developing, much like many other quarterbacks who.
He's Justin Fields.
And so I don't know what the front office is going to do. Will they do it? I don't know. But at the end of the day, that's paramount. You got to have it. You got to have it.
So I ended that with a laugh, and it was true. I'll take Dak first, but I am extremely impressed with Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
Extremely.
I'll take Justin Fields and his projection. So we're gonna move on. We got this Super Bowl. It's called Who You Got. These playoffs are starting this weekend. Mark's got to run here shortly. So I wanted to get your picks. Really, I want to get your Super Bowl picks. I don't really care about this weekend too much, but who do you see winding up in the Super Bowl, and who do you see winning in the Super Bowl this year?
So I'll just start with the winner, and I got the Chiefs. I think they're too fluid, too versatile, too creative, enough defense, and it's just. I think if it came down to defense, I think the dude in the middle, Jones, is crazy and makes plays late. I think if it came down to offense, having to score late, they got the best in the business.
Yeah.
And then I think they're playing. San Francisco 49ers
in the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl.
So Chiefs win it all. Chiefs,
when they're playing the
49ers
Niners.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We got to write that down. We got to write that down. We got Mark's picks. So Mr. Everson Walls, who do you see winning this Super Bowl this year? First of all, who do you see competing for the Super Bowl championship, and who do you see winning?
I think it's going to be. It's hard to pick. I can't say that I could do it. I think the way Mahomes is playing this year, even without his major weapon in Tyreek Hill, he has, I've never seen him show so much determination. You know, not just the creativity, but running the ball more readily, putting them in position, and that also helps loosen up that secondary for the receivers that he still has there. They're very good.
Oh, yeah.
But his doggedness this year seems to be more on display. You know, of course, reaching for the pylon with football. And I've seen him do some crazy things.
Yeah.
Once again, not just creatively, but physically, that has allowed this team to win in spite of what the other team was doing. I look for them to do it. I cannot see San Francisco winning in Philly.
Oh,
yeah, they gotta go there.
Tough,
It is,
yeah.
but they're the only team with a D line that will allow them to cover with 8 and rush with 4. Truly,
Still tough.
I know.
It's
I know. I know. I know.
Tough. This is gonna be. It's
Mhm.
and you know I don't mind saying it. You know I'd be happy if the Cowboys were able to make it out of the first round. I mean, not this weekend, but into the next round.
Yeah.
I would just love to see them do well. And
Yeah.
of course, you know, as a homer, you know I'm a homer.
absolutely.
I don't mind saying with a little bit of luck here and there, if all things go right, you might end up in Philly or San Fran. We'll see.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I look forward to Niners, Eagles in Philly, Eagles pulling it out, and homeboy out of is it Channelview?
Out in East Texas? White
no,
House?
I think Jalen's out of Channelview.
Oh, okay, Jalen.
Yeah, Channelview,
I
Texas.
thought you
Yeah,
were talking about
Down south.
switching over to Pat Mahomes.
Philly pulling it out.
Jalen meeting Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Hey,
Let me say something, guys. That's not just an easy pick for KC.
Yeah, it's not.
absolutely none of them are.
I reluctantly picked them.
Ooh. So who did you reluctantly pick them against? The Bills or the Bengals?
Mm-hmm. That's
Bengals.
tough.
Bengals, they don't care where they play.
No,
I love them.
Bengals don't care where they play.
They do not.
that's my pick.
Super
We'll
Bowl.
get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. So, Jonas, who do you have right here?
I'm gonna have to agree with the crowd here on KC. That's a hard one to go against.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about who's against them. Partly because I can never keep straight which conference is which.
So 49ers, Eagles, that's really the top 2 teams
Yeah.
in the NFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's like there's a lot of good teams on the other side.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably say 49ers get there, but yeah, if they're playing in Philly, that is tough.
Yeah.
That is tough.
Yeah.
With a backup quarterback.
With a backup court. That's
With a
backup
exactly
quarterback,
Third
right.
string.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
Jeez.
I just 49ers can stop the run
Yeah.
with 5 guys.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
So you got 49ers?
You can't just double. You can't.
Yeah.
Huh?
You got 49ers
Oh
out
yeah.
there? Yeah. And I mean, they held Aaron Rodgers to 12 points last year in the playoffs.
The secondary is tough too with San Francisco. Really.
Oh right. They got some hitters back there, boy. I know you love them.
We talking Christian
Oh,
McCaffrey,
buddy.
Hawks too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Deebo Samuel. They have ballers out there, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Purdy, he's a baller too.
Yep.
With all that, I mean, my picks, 49ers and Bengals.
Mm.
And I only say Bengals, first of all, because somebody's got to win this challenge. and second of all, Joe Burrow's never lost to Kansas City.
That's a good point. Never.
You know, at home or away.
And when in there.
So, you
Big
know,
Burr.
Joe,
Big Burr.
Cool Joe, that boy, that Camel no more. That's a quarterback in Cincinnati, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I like it. I
like the Bengals, bro.
They have been crazy this year.
They have a vicious team, and I love when they wear all black. Love when they in that all black out there looking like Iggy Woods and them boys, you know?
Yeah.
Boomer Esiason. Right here. Hey,
Mark,
I know you got to roll, Everson. We ain't done, bro. We got a little more to talk about.
Thank you, sir.
I got to roll also. I got to go.
Right,
Are you out too?
Yeah, I got to go, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Man. I'm a grown man, bro. I can't just be sitting around here talking about it.
Right.
Hey, man, we all grown,
I got stuff to do.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I got to get the kids. I got to get the kids.
Hey, next time we got to get you in the building, man, in the shop so we can chop it up, man, and get some real. Might bring you back like the week before the Super Bowl and see what's going down, you know, see how these picks end up.
That's right. I want you to see how Dak end up. That's what.
That's it.
Dak gonna end up on the couch with us next Tuesday. Unfortunately.
Hey. Oh man, enjoyed it. Thank you
so much
for your time, man. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, bro.
All right,
bro. I'm out.
What up? And we are back, man. Back in action.
Seems like we lost some people somewhere.
Lost a little weight. You know, did some push-ups, some sit-ups. Lost a little weight. Had that New Year's resolution.
I lost to Mark Clayton, and you lost to Everson Walls.
Yeah, we lost about 400 pounds.
About 400
in like 2 minutes. If that ain't a record, man, I don't know what is, bro. But no, man, it's been a fun show, and we're gonna keep the party rolling, man. So now we got a little bit to talk about. We had a significant football game that took place for the University of Texas Christian University out in California this past weekend. And they played in the national championship in the NCAA. Man, things didn't go so well on a record fucking level, freaking level, you know.
I think we're still on the same show, so we can just
we can still get after it a little bit. It's all good. My bad, y'all. You know, I didn't mean to just drop that in there.
Yeah, because we are talking about the Texas Christian University. So
hey,
tone it down a little bit.
You would think that, but I saw a Texas Christian University representative say the word "damn" on an interview, and I was like, "What are we looking at right here? I don't really understand what's going on, or have things loosened up?"
It depends on which version.
It wasn't Catholic. I know C could stand for Catholic, but it's still, you know, it's Christian. But anyways, yeah, man. So Georgia went out there, and did you watch the game at all, Jay? It was like, I mean, it was bad.
I wasn't watching it until I started seeing all the chatter about, and well, maybe I need to see what's going on. And then I looked, and I was like, oh, that's so awful.
Well, I know that someone, you know,
blood and hair everywhere. It was awful.
Someone sent a text, and it said, do you think TCU will cover? And Mark was like, yeah, I think TCU will cover. And I had the audacity, and this is before I turned the game on. I said, if it's close to the fourth quarter, I think TCU could pull it out. And then I turned the game on.
You're like,
and I was like, oh,
never mind.
This is well before I turned the game on, y'all. Like, I think TCU's overmatched right now. You know, it was still the first quarter, but it was blatantly obvious they didn't stand a chance in that game, bro.
Yeah, and you know they've been doing really well this year, all season up to now. But to go straight from the teams that they've been playing to Georgia,
my gosh. Yeah, man.
I mean, that's
first of all, like when Georgia lost to Ohio State the week previously, I was like, well, there goes TCU's chance. Because TCU beat Michigan, which beat Ohio State. I don't really like to do that because, you know, football and sports is really a game of matchups, not necessarily if this team beats this team, that means this team is better. That's not how it goes.
Well, there's too many variables.
Yeah, yeah. And I think TCU caught Michigan on a down day because Michigan was a really good football team.
And I think TCU caught Georgia on an up day, and Georgia caught TCU on a down day.
Yeah,
because they stomped the mud hole in them.
Georgia had a bad game and still beat Ohio State. You know, and that says enough right there. That's the first time a team has won 2 championships in a row since the FBS era has begun. Which is shocking considering Alabama has been so dominant, but they haven't done it in this era. Prior to they had, but since they started this tournament, they hadn't done it yet. And Georgia, Smart, the coach of Georgia, he comes from Alabama, so it took Nick Saban's stock to raise Nick Saban's level of play. Right. So no, man, congratulations to Georgia football. all you Georgia football fans, y'all just pissed off that the Falcons suck, so you're jumping on another red and black bandwagon.
You gotta get on something.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna say this would be like the Falcons coming to the playoffs and playing
like actually winning a Super Bowl when they're up by 28.
Yeah,
versus letting Tom Brady come back on you and set a record. But yeah, man. But no, Georgia, heck of a team. Great job. I'm gonna zoom through these last couple sports right
at TCU. Because you mentioned in the notes the question: would you rather get blown out or not make it at all?
Yeah.
TCU. Be glad you made it. Like you made it. You did something that I didn't think was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it was going to happen.
I sure as heck didn't think. I never saw y'all getting this far. Especially
you got plenty
Gary
to be
Patterson
proud of.
leaving. Yeah, man.
Plenty to be proud of.
Great season, TCU. Great season, man. Purple and black, right?
Yeah.
Mark said black and purple make blue, and I was thinking about that the other day, and actually it doesn't. You know what I mean? It makes a darker purple.
Depends on whether you're talking bruises or.
Well, I mean, black and red make purple,
right?
First of all, but. I'll talk with Mark about that. I'll talk with Mark because he was like, "That's the Ravens." Because I was talking about how I don't like the color purple. It's not a sports color. And
there may be some team lore behind that.
Yeah, it is, but it doesn't make sense. Is all I'm saying. It ain't accurate. It ain't accurate at all. But,
all right,
we're gonna move on, man, to boxing. We have a very, very. Actually, we'll move on to the NBA. We'll move on to the NBA next, man. Since we last had a show. We have a player here in Dallas that has been going berserk by the name of Luka Doncic, man. This guy here, actually, let me switch this graphic because I just messed that up a little bit because I was going to boxing and then just it's like a stutter, like a graphic stutter.
Sure.
But anyways, Luka Magic, man. Luka Doncic has been going off. He went off again last night. They didn't come away with the win because the Clippers were a little bit too strong. But during the break, he had a game. First ever happening of this, 61 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 boards. I believe that's what the stat line was.
Yeah.
It might have been 62 points, but I believe it was 61 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists, man. Yeah, I'm sorry, 21 rebounds and 10 assists. I said that all wrong the first time.
You did, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Coming back, what notes are for.
That's right.
But, and even my notes are wrong right here because I didn't put the right amount of points. But Luka's been going crazy, man, on an MVP level, man. As you guys know, last time we had a show, the Mavericks were 15-15. At this point in the season, they are now 23-19 with that loss last night. So obviously we've had more wins than we've had losses. But they are playing very well right now. Luka's playing very well. Looking forward to seeing what happens for the remainder of the season. I'm also a Lake Show fan. Yeah. As soon as we start doing something well, somebody gets hurt, and usually who that somebody is Anthony Davis, and of course it is him again. He's injured right now. Got to come back from his injury, but hopefully we can pick it back up. Lake Show. So I'm Lakers and Dallas Mavericks. I know that sounds crazy, but watch an old show and you'll understand why. I'm not gonna go through that. Right. So moving on to boxing, there is some boxing news that we need to discuss, man. As you see this Oak Cliff official shirt that I have on, this is representative of one of my good friends, man, my big bro, Derek James, man, who also happens to be the trainer for Earl Spence, Jamel Charlo, and one Frank Martin, up-and-coming boxer. The man has 7 belts. Well, I guess he doesn't, but the people that he trains.
In his training stable, he's got 7 belts.
7 belts, man. One of them is a unified champion. The other is a... What's the word? Undisputed champ, and the other is a unified champ. That's what it is, right? Jamel Charlo's a unified champ.
Are you being disputed if you're the unified champ?
Well, with a unified champ, you have all the belts. Or no.
So you're undisputed.
Undisputed, you have all the belts.
Okay.
Unified, you have several belts.
Some of the belts.
Yeah. So Jamel Charlo has all 4 belts. Earl Spence has 3 of the 4 belts. And we're waiting on that. Yeah, we're waiting for that Crawford fight.
He's waiting on the paperwork to line up.
Yeah, man. And I'm just I'm gonna just tell y'all right now. I feel anybody wearing snack on their pants, like I think they're a dirty boxer. I think they're dirty because that's the same guy that's Balco, man. Like that's the same guy that got all the Major League Baseball players popped, man, and now he's training boxers. I think he's just trying to stay ahead of the game, ahead of the.
Could be.
I think he's a cheater that stays ahead of the tests, right? And now he's got several boxers. They happen to be champions, you know. Stevenson, Haney, Crawford. These guys that are in, you know, Frank's weight class and also Earl's 147 weight class.
So let me get this straight. You're okay with them doing a little juice in baseball. That's just part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But in boxing, it's not okay?
No.
Why is that? How's that work?
Well, baseball, it's a boring sport. Right, to some. To me, I love it. And it's a level playing field.
It's a lot better to be playing baseball than it is to be watching baseball.
Yeah, exactly. And
watching baseball is better if you've played baseball.
Yeah. But when the majority of people are doing it in baseball, and it's don't get me started on that. But in boxing, when it's mano a mano,
true,
right?
Yeah, fair enough.
And you have one group over here doing this snack program with a convicted cheater.
Yeah,
right. The guy's going to jail behind it already, but now he's just cleaned up the program. Like whatever, I don't believe it. Call a spade is how I see it, you know. And then we have. I don't know. Maybe I should give the guy a second chance. Maybe he's doing things right and just really smart. And then we have Earl Spence over here doing things the right way through Derek's program with other boxers in the stable that are, through hard work, freaking like steel men. Like these dudes are freaking in shape, strong as iron, and beating the brakes off people.
Yeah.
Like I'm riding. They're from Dallas, bro. So I'm riding with this group over here all day. Right. Anybody wearing snack, I think you're cheating, but you're still not as good as this group over here. So.
I'm gonna throw two things out there. One, Derek James is so clean that like he's drinking water.
That's all he drinks.
Like nothing but water.
Yeah.
And sat there in your boy's place, burger place over there, with some burgers. Like if you've not, shout out to the name
Charburger, man.
If you just walk in, the smell of those burgers,
old fashioned burgers for real.
Like
Duncanville, Texas.
My mouth is watering.
I was in there last night. It was so hard to not order a burger, bro.
Right?
Oh my god.
Derek James sits there. Nah, man, I'm clean.
Yeah, man.
Like that's a little too clean for me. Like I need a little dirt on it.
I call Derek James. I call Derek a plant, right? Because Derek don't drink Gatorade. He doesn't drink alcohol. Water. He doesn't drink Coke or Pepsi.
He eats meat though, right?
He drinks some meat, water, some meat.
Yeah, but not like a burger. Not like a greasy, nice, yummy.
Derek and
delicious,
so
awesome
we have
burger.
the celebrity softball game.
Yeah.
And I was, we went to the cage and I was showing Derek. I was teaching him how to hit.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Man, I'm losing focus. Let me drink some water." I was like, hold on. I said, "What?" I said, "So you lose focus?" I was like, "Why are you drinking water when you lose focus?" He was like, "Well, I just drink water, and it helps me focus. Helps me regain my focus." Like Derek is the cleanest person I've ever met in my life.
Squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean, bro.
Squeaky clean.
Dude drinks water to focus. Like I do all kinds of stuff to focus. We're not gonna talk about that today, but Well,
so that's the other thing that I was going to bring up, and I read a book called Total Competition.
Yeah.
Which sounds like it would be really interesting. It's actually not. It's really kind of boring.
Oh no.
It's about Formula One.
Okay.
Which is how I got to read it in the first place.
Yeah.
But if you're into that kind of stuff,
which we are,
one of the things that they talk about is, and the reason that the book has the name that it does is that like when you are at that level of competition, when you are at a premier level of competition, it's all out. Mm-hmm. It's not at all like most people's businesses, most people's relationships where there's give and take and like you want to stay within the rules because you'll get dinged on something, you might go to jail.
Yeah.
In these sports, a lot of times total competition means total competition. We're going to push the limits as far as we can push the limits and then one step further.
Yeah.
And then one step further until we get dinged on something.
Yeah.
Because that's the level of competition that you're at.
Yep.
So when people, if somebody's pushing the limits on, some performance enhancing substance of some sort, or, whatever, that is to some extent the level of competition that you're at. So to wrap that back to squeaky clean, to be able to put out at the level that Derek and his guys are putting out,
7 belts and 1 contending,
and be clean.
Yeah.
Like, that's freaking impressive.
Yeah, man.
Like
man.
Those guys are doing something special. If I can get him to let me come down there and like get beat up, some of those guys.
We can go down there. I don't know if he'll let you spar, but we can go down there.
I'll sign the release. I like getting.
You want to get in there?
Yeah, I like getting hit.
Oh my gosh, that's fun.
That's power to me.
I see why. Hey, you and Sophie got some freaky stuff going on at the crib, dog. Hey, dog. I watch Billions. You know
how that works.
Got the leather and the swings and stuff. But
Errol Spence.
Yeah, man. So
stuff's happening.
Yeah. No. So I don't want to leave Derek yet.
Yeah.
He is now like the undisputed like,
trainer of the year.
Bro.
Yeah, that's right.
He's got the ESPN trainer of the year.
Yeah.
He's got the boxing. I believe he's got the PBC trainer of the year. He's got the Boxing Writers Association of America trainer of the year. Man, congrats, Derek James, man. Repping all the time, baby. Oak Cliff, that's my hood. Put it in your face. That's what it is, man. Congratulations. And well deserved.
If you haven't watched any of the previous shows, just an awesome guy.
Yeah, man.
Like, just the nicest, most awesome dude.
Yeah, bro.
Probably not if he's coaching you, but
yeah, bro.
you probably hate him if he's coaching you, but
man, he's just a good dude, man. I look up to him like as a big brother, man, and really admire that dude and really appreciate, the impact he has had on my life, and in meeting someone that's just so focused and locked in on what they do. And bro, you don't meet people like that every day.
Yeah.
And that's why he is where he is. So
absolutely.
Congrats again, Derek James. Also in boxing news, man, yesterday or day before, one of the two, Earl Spence and Keith Thurman have announced they will be fighting, or they're in negotiations to have a fight in April, man. Keith Thurman, I think he just wants that check because he's come to a point, and guys that take off for a couple years always scare me. That means they could have been juicing for a year, year and a half, gotten it out of their system, and now they've gotten the results from it, like we talked about with Ray.
Yep.
Right, that came onto the show.
Yep.
Right.
They get him back
now they've gotten the results from the juice or whatever it was after he lost to Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah. He
was humble with his first loss, and now he's coming back to fight Earl. I don't care what he takes. He will never be on Earl's level as far as I'm concerned. Good luck, Keith Thurman. You're about to get that ass whooped. You're getting the brakes beat off of you, and I can't wait to see it, man. You're going to come out with broken ribs. I think Earl's broken, I don't know, like 4 of the last 6 orbital bones he's faced in the ring. So good luck to your eyeball sockets. And, man. We'll see what happens, but I got a feeling Earl's going to come out victorious, and they're fighting at 152, so the belts are not on the line at 147.
Okay, all right.
Right? They're at 154, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Earl fought in the Olympics at 152, so he's very comfortable walking around in that weight and fighting at that weight. I think he'd rather fight at that weight. But, to get the 4 belts, he's got to fight back at 147, which is very hard for him at this time. Grown man, bro. You like to eat. You like to do things. But you don't want to be 147 pounds when you walk around 190. But how tough is that, bro? Imagine having to get down to 147 pounds, Jonas.
I would probably die.
That's how I feel. I feel like I'd have to starve myself for
that's more than 50
2
pounds.
years.
From my way in this morning, that's more than 50 pounds.
147.
More than 50 pounds.
Could you do it for $15 million?
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Jonas be walking around here looking like these right
here.
Put
the money on the table. Put the money on the table. I'd be ripped like Jesus.
Just straight shredded, dog. Boy, I ain't eating nothing but tomatoes for 2 years, dog.
I eat some lettuce.
Yeah, lettuce and
2
tomatoes,
years, man. I think you could pull that off in less time than that.
Right on, bro.
That'd be fun.
Right on. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the boxing talk, man. Once again, congratulations, Derek, and I'm looking forward to watching my boy Earl fight. Frank, you know what it is, bro. Happy for you, dog. It's about time you got your shot, dog, and I'm looking forward to it. Javante Davis had a nice fight this weekend. He won his fight in knockout fashion. Actually, the dude Javante Davis is the guy that's in Frank's weight class.
Right.
That's holding the belt. I would love to see Frank fight him. Frank has sparred him before. He said he had a great sparring session with him. Right? Javante has not invited him back to the gym since that sparring session. So that tells you it went pretty good. I don't know what that means as far as who won or whatnot, but I'd love to see them in a
That could
match.
mean that there's a match brewing.
Exactly.
Like they've had a little feel out, but now they don't want to give anything away.
Exactly.
Could be.
Exactly. And I know that Frank has gotten better, stronger. Like the guy's focused, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. And but anyway, Javante, he this past weekend he had a fight, and the guy in the 7th round, I believe, going into the 8th or 8th going into the 9th, one of the two, he was just like, bro, like I can't go back out there. I can't see.
Oh yeah.
Told his corner he can't see. They called the fight when he was in the corner. Or like in the 3rd round, I text Derek. Derek was at the fight.
Right.
I said, Derek, his overhand left is wide open. And that's like he boom, hit him with overhand left. And I forget the guy's name, but he like startled back and like he just went to town on him.
Yeah.
Beat him up real bad, and the fight was over. But anyway, I would love to see Frank and Javante Davis have a fight. I think that'd be a great matchup. And I think Frank can run through Devin Haney and anybody else in that weight class. So we'll see what happens, man. We got another champion, upcoming champion in the stable over here with Derek. But
we're running low on time.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good, bro. I've enjoyed this though.
Yeah.
And we got a lot more to talk about, man. This is the start of season 7.
We've talked about why you're wrong about Dak today.
No, he had a bias.
He had a bias.
He works for the
historical.
Cowboys. So, you know what I'm saying? Of course, that was his job to defend his quarterback, he said.
He made some good points.
He did make some good points, but they were not valid to me. I just knew I couldn't argue with him down, bro. You know? No, like shout out Everson Walls, man. Really enjoyed you coming on the show. We got to get you in the building, bro. And so we can really hash this out, man. We got plenty of time because Dak's going to be here chilling, watching the playoffs with us come Tuesday. Unfortunately, I'm a Cowboys fan. It don't sound like it, but that is what it is. I'm a realist. He's never beat Brady. I have no track record.
I would love to see them go through. I don't see them passing the Bucks.
I don't even.
Passing them.
Too bad they got him in the first round.
Passing the Bucks.
Yeah, passing the Bucks. Passing the Bucks. They got all the Bucks in the bank.
I agree. I think that, unfortunately, that's probably going to be the end of the line.
Although we've come to the end of the road.
And we've come to the end of the show.
Now, I'm not going to go boys and men on y'all fully, but hey, I can hit them notes. I'm just playing with y'all. But no, we'll see y'all next week, man. Sometime around noonish. We got a whole
plus
new
or minus
setup
2
coming
hours.
at you. Hey, and be looking out for our Super Bowl show, man. Coming live from Puerto Rico. We're going to have awesome guests all weekend long, man.
It's going to be
Looking
crazy.
forward to it, but we got a lot of build up to get to that point. But, man, thank y'all for joining us today. Everson Walls again, thank you for coming on, joining the show. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.